Hello and welcome to autoX. This is the Creta N-Line, and if you want a sensible, feature-loaded family SUV, then you can't go wrong with the Creta, and to be honest, it's probably already high on your list of options as well. But if your friends describe you using the words such as petrolhead, enthusiastic or shauqeen, well, the Creta N-Line is more up your alley. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything that it has to offer, so let's get started. We have lots to tell you. Now, the most distinctive aspect of Hyundai's N-Line version of cars over the models that they're based on is definitely the souped-up design. And in that aspect, the Creta really shines because this is probably the best-looking N-Line version that there is. Let's start with the front because this is my favorite part. Now, you get a split-style affair, whereas the regular version gets a more cohesive grille and DRL look. Here, you get a smaller grille which is relegated to the bottom half of the bumper, and alongside you also get the projector headlamps and a N-Line badge right over here. Now, the one-piece LED strip is relegated to the top half of the bumper. Now, in my opinion, this does give off Range Rover sport vibes and it looks pretty cool. Now, if you step to the side, the biggest change here are these N-Line specific 18-inch alloy wheels. They look really good and give the Creta N-Line a much more beefier stance. Here too, you get N-Line badges just so you don't confuse this version for the regular version. Now, another aspect which looks really good are these red accents which basically run alongside the length of the Creta N-Line. They start from the front and go all the way up to the back. And overall, if you look at the Creta N-Line from its side angle, well, this too is quite distinctive. Now, let's step to the back because here too, there are quite a few changes. First and foremost, what will catch your eye is this double stacked spoiler. Now, this looks mean and it looks really cool. Now, remember when I said there were red accents going from the front of the car all the way to the back? Now, this culminates at the diffuser at the back. Now, the diffuser also houses the chrome-plated dual exhaust tips. Overall, the whole car has this aura of meanness, sportiness, exactly what Hyundai wanted you to think. Now, I do admit when the facelifted regular Creta was launched, I was kind of on the fence about its design. Creta N-Line, it looks handsome, it looks mean, and has become my favorite variation of the Creta. Now, inside, the Creta N-Line gets the same treatment as other N-Line models, which means you get a completely blacked out interior with red accents strewn all across. Here, you get it in the dashboard, on the infotainment system, on the steering wheel, on the seats, and along with that, you also get N-Line badging on the seats and on the gear lever. Speaking of which, you get N-Line specific steering wheel and gear lever. While the steering wheel is smaller in diameter, it's chunkier and it's good to hold. While the gear lever is short, it's stubby and makes it easier to shift up and down when you use the gear lever in manual mode. Other than that, there are no changes and the features remain the same as the regular Creta model. This is a good time for me to tell you that the N10 version, which we're in right now, is based on the SX option variant. N8, which is the model which sits below this, is based on the S option variant of the Creta. Now, if I have to talk about the features which you get, they include a 10.25-inch instrument cluster, infotainment system, then you get wireless charging, you get a panoramic sunroof, you get cooled and ventilated front seats, you get a Bose audio system with JioSaavn integration, you get 8-way power adjustable driver side seat, then you also get dual zone climate control and a whole lot more. Basically, the Creta N-Line is as loaded as the regular Creta, and that's a really good thing because this was a family-friendly, feature-loaded SUV to begin with, and here you get the same thing in a much more sportier and meaner package. So to be fair, the Creta N-Line version is equally well loaded as the regular Creta at the back, but I thought I'd show you how much space you get and just to give you a revision on the features you get for the rear passengers. Now, I'm 5'6" and the front seat has been set to my liking, and as you can see at the back, I have plenty of knee room, I have enough leg room, I have enough headroom and shoulder room as well. I'm quite comfortable I have a rear armrest with cup holders. Then you also have storage spaces or a mobile storage space over here with Type-C charging cable and rear AC vents. Now you also get sun blind for the rear passengers on both sides, which I think is a pretty neat touch. Now the Creta does appeal to people who have family or even people who are chauffeur driven, and I feel it appeals to both in equal measure. Now the N-Line specific changes at the rear include this blacked out perforated seat covers with red accents on them, and you also have red stitching on the headrests. And overall, I think this is a pretty nice place to be. It's comfortable, it's feature loaded, and you get enough creature comfort here to keep you comfortable in however long a drive you choose to be on. Alright, now it's time for performance and the whole idea of an N-Line version, that it's a hotter and more fun to drive version of the model that it is based on. And in that aspect, while the Creta does add a bit of hot sauce to the performance over the regular Creta, I feel it isn't as drastic of a change as I would have liked. Now, that's especially true when you're talking about the engine front. It gets the same 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine, which makes 160 bhp and 253 Newton meters of peak torque. It gets off the line smoothly and it pulls progressively to the red line, but once you pass the mid RPM mark, it tends to drop off in terms of performance and oomph rather quickly. So what I'm trying to say is, once you mash the throttle, if you're on higher speeds or highway speeds, the car does surge forward decisively, but it doesn't excite or overwhelm you. Now what I feel really adds to the excitement is the 7-speed DCT, which you can also use via the paddle shifters. And the reason for that is the gear ratios are pretty well spaced out and it does its optimum best to keep you in the right gear at all times. However, one special aspect of the Hyundai Creta N-Line is the fact that this is the only variant of the Hyundai Creta that you can have with the 1.5 turbo petrol and the manual gearbox. The regular Creta doesn't get this option, and I feel that will also be one alluring factor for the customers of the Hyundai Creta N-Line. But where it truly does shine is the handling. Now, where Hyundai has really worked its N-Line magic is in terms of the car's handling. The biggest change, I feel, is in the car's steering wheel. They've added weight and they've added feel, and that has gone a long way in making this car fun to drive and also boost your confidence when pushing this car into a corner. What also helps out is the fact that this new steering wheel, it's smaller in diameter, it's chunkier, and as a result, you not only get more leverage, but you also put in less effort. Now, another aspect where Hyundai has changed things up is in terms of suspension. The Hyundai Creta N-Line is significantly stiffer in its suspension setup compared to the regular Creta. Now, while I say the N-Line is stiffer than the regular version, but not overbearingly so. In our route today, we had a mix of highways, bad roads, single lane, twisty, by roads, all of it. And I think the Hyundai Creta N-Line took all of it in its stride. The car tends to stay planted through corners, but throw it onto some bad roads and it remains equally pliant. So what I'm trying to say is, whether you have bad roads, open roads and twisty roads, the Hyundai Creta N-Line always feels like it's in its element and never out of shape. Overall, the Creta N-Line is a distinctively better performer than the regular Creta, and initially I thought the Kia Seltos would be the segment benchmark even after the release of the Creta N-Line, but after driving the Creta N-Line, I feel this is the new segment benchmark. Now, even in terms of safety, the Hyundai Creta N-Line doesn't take a back seat. You get a total of 19 Level 2 ADAS features, which include automatic cruise control, automatic emergency braking, blind spot assist, and more. Also, what's particularly special is the fact that you get an onboard dashboard camera, which has also been integrated into the ADAS functionality. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our first impression / drive review of the Hyundai Creta N-Line, and it really has impressed me. Now, I felt the regular Creta lacks a bit of character and drama in its aesthetics, but this makes up for that to the T. So what do you guys think about the Creta N-Line? Tell us in the comment section down below. And would you pick this or the top-end Creta Turbo TCT? Tell us that in the comment section down below. We look forward to your answers. My name is Karan Mathur. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys real soon.